Hello Taurus and welcome to my channel Attila Tarot. In this video we're going to take a look at what kind of energies you can expect in the month of April in the areas of love and relationship. As usual, this is a general reading, so please take whatever resonates and leave the rest behind. First we're going to start with your Rose Oracle card. The card that came out for you is Open, Say Yes, Expand Through the Extremes, and Trust Life. So what this card is all about, that some of you might be going through some difficulties. Some of you are going through some very highs and very lows. One day you're feeling very enthusiastic, one day you are very happy, and the next day you're kind of feeling down, you're feeling exhausted, you're feeling very low energy. And this card is telling you that you need to be open. You need to be open for new opportunities. You need to be open even if you're going through these extremes, highs and lows. You need to say yes to things, and you need to trust life, that life is bringing you something great. Even though you've been going through this roller coaster ride, there's something great that's gonna happen to you. So be open for new opportunities and say yes. But let's see what is or the tarot is telling us. In the center of your reading you do have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is the card of choices. It is also a card of when you're kind of not seeing clearly, a little bit confused. So some of you might have a lot of choices when it comes to love. Maybe you have multiple people to choose from. Some of you are very dreamy as well. You're kind of dreaming about what you want to achieve from a relationship perspective. You're very romantic as well. And this card is also connected to manifestation. And the way it's connected, that whenever this comes up, one day you are thinking and that you want this, but the next day you're gonna think something else. So for example, one day you may think, oh my god, I want to meet my soulmate, I want to be in love, I want to be in a relationship. Next day you're gonna, oh no, nobody's gonna control me, I don't want to be with anybody, I'm happy on my own. These are just examples, but just to demonstrate that one day you might be wanting this and the other day you might be wanting something totally different. And when this comes up, the universe is telling you that I don't know what you want. But it's always important when you have multiple choices, if that's your situation, that you try to narrow down the options and try to be more realistic about this evaluation. The first card we have here is the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is the card of the wounded soldier, which is an indication that you are very exhausted, you are very tired about something. You've been working on something for a while and you're like, I just don't know whether that's gonna happen to me. So let's say you are single, you've been wanting to meet somebody, have a stable relationship, and you're like, I just don't know if it's gonna happen. I put all this effort in, I've been going on dates and it's just not happening. But it can be also from a relationship perspective, that maybe you've been putting a lot of effort, a lot of energy into a relationship, and you just don't know where this relationship is leading. And when this card is coming up, it's an indication that you're kind of ready to give up. You're like, that's it, I'm not going to continue anymore. But it is also a card that's telling you that you need to keep pushing. You shouldn't give up now, because you are very close to reaching your goal and reaping your harvest. The next card we have here is the Page of Swords. So Page of Swords, maybe there's some kind of idea here that's playing. Maybe that you have an idea that you're kind of trying to contemplate. But this can be also a card of somebody who is very young. Maybe you have a person that you're dealing with that's way younger than you. It can be also a child. But this is a card of messages, delayed messages, when you've been waiting for some kind of a message and you're not getting it, and finally when you're getting it, you are very happy because it's a positive news. But this is also a card of gossip. It is also a card of, when you're watching the other people on social media, maybe on Twitter or any kind of social media. you're kind of spying, or somebody is spying on you. And the next card we have here is the King of Cups. King of Cups is somebody, it can be your energy or a person you're dealing with, or just a general energy of this card. This is somebody who's more mature. This is somebody who is a very loving, very emotional person who has lots of feelings, and he pays attention to his feelings and others' feelings as well. But he's very balanced. Look at how meditative he is. He is able to control his emotions with his logic and his thoughts as well. He's very diplomatic. He's a great communicator. He can be somebody who likes to help people. Again, this can be a person you're dealing with, but this is also a card of an indication of somebody who's very stable, because generally the King of Cups is in the midst of the ocean, surrounded by lots of waves, but he is very stable in his position, which is an indication that you might be able to handle anything that comes to your way. The next card we have here is the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is a card of an end of a cycle. This is also a card that's showing that you're very exhausted, you're very tired of something. Something is burdening you. You might be carrying a lot of luggage, you might be carrying a lot of a burden with you from the past. For some of you might have just packed your belonging and you left something or somebody. But this is a card that's actually like all about that. You need to think about that how can you get some kind of a help, because you're actually very close to achieving your goals, because like normally the person on this card is carrying their harvest to their home, and when you kind of look at it, you have 9 and 10, which is definitely an indication that you're leveling up and you're getting close to your goal. Because with the 9 of Wands you can kind of see, but with the 10 of Wands you're actually getting ready to get rid of that burden that you're carrying. Very interesting with the 10 of Wands, that usually it's an indication of something that started very exciting, very passionate, and it kind of became more of a burden. This can be a relationship, this can be also just the fact that you are dating. And the next card we have here is the 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is all about speed. All about when things are happening fast in your life. So this can be just the fact that maybe there are so many things around you, a lot of things are happening, a lot of messages are coming in, a lot of text messages, emails, you name it. But it can be also, this is the card of Cupid as well, when somebody comes into your life, steps into your life, and you just have this rush of feelings, and the relationship is evolving way faster than you're comfortable with. And again, like with the 8 of Wands, it can be also a sign of travel. Maybe you're gonna travel somewhere. But it's very, I'm just seeing it now that you actually have 8, 9, and 10. 8 of Wands, 9 of Wands, and 10 of Wands. So there's definitely progress here. But let's see what's going to be the final outcome of this reading. But before that, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That's an indication that the reading helped you. And you can also help me to grow the channel to make sure that the message gets out to those who need it the most. For you, it is only costing a push of a button. So I hope that you already pushed those like and subscribe buttons. And I'm always very excited to read in the comment how this reading is resonating with you. And with the reality. And look at that, what you have here, the Knight of Cups. Look at that romantic charmer. He is the knight in shining armor. So this if this is a person for you, he is super romantic. He is there to really woo you, and you know, he is very lovey-dovey. And you know, it can be also an act of some sort. So maybe somebody is asking you for a date, maybe somebody is wants to get engaged or even getting married as well, and maybe that's why you are confused. And look at the little message there as well. Like with this one, we talked about the messages, and look at those little love letter that this card is showing. So there's definitely a lot of messages there. Now the next card we have here is the Strength card, which is all about being brave, being self-confident and self-assured. So this is the card when you are making very daring choices, when you're actually surprising people. Maybe you've been kind of confused, but you're actually making such a move that surprises everybody. But again, also your self-confidence is really key when this card comes up to attract other people in terms of love. And you also have here two cards that came out for this position, the Three of Cups and the Two of Swords. So Three of Cups is the card of happiness, joy, celebration, parties, getting together with people, maybe getting some messages that make you happy. And you also have here the Two of Swords, which I'm not surprised, because that's the card of indecision. And you also have the Seven of Cups, which is the card of indecision. So maybe it just reiterates that there's some kind of a decision here that you need to make, and you have a hard time. You're kind of torn. It can be two people, it can be the fact that you want to be in a relationship or you don't want to be in a relationship. There's anything where you need to make a decision. But when the Two of Swords comes up, very important to listen to your inner guidance, your inner voice, because that's going to help you to make the right decision. It's also important when the Two of Swords comes up that yes, you have a hard time making the decision, but deep down you actually know what the right decision is. And the bottom of the deck you do have the Death and the Rebirth. The Death is the card of end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. Maybe some of you need to kind of make some kind of a big change, a decision about the big change, because the Death is the card of transition. That's when one chapter is ending and the new one is beginning. And this is kind of like a change that you shouldn't fight, a change that's inevitable. Can be an end of relationship, can be that a relationship is changing because you've been dating but now you're moving in with each other, or you're getting married as well for some of you. But you know, with the death and rebirth, it can be also that some of you are having children. Now, very interesting here. As you know, we talked about the ups and downs, the highs and lows with this card, the feelings, and it kind of showcases here as well. Like you have like the happy cards, the romantic card, you have the spying, you have the being exhausted, ready to give up, being confused. So that's definitely in the reading. The other interesting thing that I'm kind of seeing here, that you know, some of you are definitely need to make a choice between multiple people, because you have here the Knight of Cups, which is somebody who's like a young romantic charmer. You have the King of Cups, who is a more mature, very stable person. And you also have the Page of Swords, who is somebody who is like a very young, very witty, a little bit maybe childish person. So some of you might be actually have to choose between three people, but not necessarily, but for some of you definitely. What's really important here to make some kind of a big decision. So that's all I have for you. I hope that this reading helped you, and I'll be able to welcome you again.